solo alive at the crib. It's a little studio production for you. Anyway, salud la gente latino. Um, where do I start? Why are some of your favorite vloggers cap? I'm gonna tell you why. I've started seeing this little thing that goes on with a lot of vloggers, right? And it took me a while to pick up on it. It took me a while to pick up on it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Before I start this, hold on, let me share this. Okay, so one of the things that I've noticed lately, right, and I don't know where it came from, but let me ration it off here. Last week, I said something about Kwame Brown, and I mentioned when I was in his live, I saw something transgress, right? And I don't have nothing against Kwame Brown. I said it then, I said it before. I think he's a good dude overall. Well, I think he stalls at is the fact that you have a Cash App in your thing, and not even to mention that other place that I kind of see a problem is that you're always beefing with somebody, dog, and you're too big, in my opinion, to be beefing with everybody. But okay, most of the people that I noticed, I noticed four young men this week. And when they were giving a diatribe of how they felt, when they were giving a diatribe of what's going on in the community or whatever, whatever. Because see, a lot of these people like to sit back and pretend like everything's perfect. The world and the culture is just in line with each other. And we're all just holding hands and we're all being friendly. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, for some reason or another, yes, R.I.P. to Nip, definitely. Definitely. Make sure you go down below too, man. They're giving Nip a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So make sure you go check that out, man. I don't do the coast, you know what I'm saying? Because I got people on the West Coast, I got people in the Midwest, I got people in the South, I got people here in the Northeast. You dig me? I don't do that coast stuff. But definitely I respect that and respect that. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle, may he rest in peace forever. There ain't no doubt about that. That's why I keep uploading it. I'm glad you said that. In fact, I'm glad you said that. Which brings me to one of these points. I'm going to take from what this young man just wrote in my chat room here as a premise to take off from and springboard from because he said it perfectly. When Nipsey Hussle first passed away, as well as Young Dolph, as well as a couple other young men that passed away untimely, XX Extension and a couple others, even Alpo. When we sat back and that happened, everybody was Scooby Doo. Everybody was like, I was involved in it too. I still had, that's one of my biggest lives ever when I announced it because I broke it. Me, Doggy Diamonds, Star Report, and I think two other people were the only ones that went live with it on the jump. Everybody else followed behind. And that particular live, I had 54,000 people in that live. Live. I have a lot of videos up. I didn't realize I'm reaching like 2,000 videos. So a lot of people go back and look at my old videos before they look at my new stuff. I don't know why, but that's the way it happens. Anyway, long story short, when Nipsey Hussle died, everybody was on it, everybody was grieving, everything else. But when it came to the trial, those same bloggers that were talking about, they got to pay attention to me. Those same bloggers that were advocating for the arrest, advocating to find the killer and everything, they disappeared. They did the same thing with Young Dolph and everything else when it came to the proceedings, when it came to the court cases, when it came to sentencing people, whatever. We saw Eric Holder, well, at least on my channel. I put up the information about Eric Holder when he was going to court, when he got beat up in court. I had to take that down and everything else. But none of these other vloggers really covered that. They didn't cover that. They only covered the highlighted part. And they took donations off a man's death. If you notice in any of my posts that I post up and it's about somebody's death, you'll never see any Cash App information. You'll never see any GoFundMe information. You'll never see any PayPal information because I know better than to try to make money off somebody's death. But some people, they don't have that dignity and they do that. I saw one other woman for continuously, it had to be at least 5 to 6 weeks after the man's death. She continually kept putting Kevin Samuels' name in her titles because she knew it attracted people to come to the live naturally. He's a popular name, whatever side of the spectrum you fall on the man, so be it. You're going to garner some hits from it. But I never do that, why? Because this man has passed on. That's called having some dignity about yourself and others as well. Now, this woman, she kept putting Kevin Samuels' name in her post, and I'm not talking about the position Kevin Samuels played or whatever. That's up to your own discretion, all right? That's up to your own discretion. But what I'm simply talking about is the procedure of what she did. And what she did was she continuously put Kevin Samuels' name in her titles. And then right below the titles, you saw all her cash apps, all her stuff for pieces she was selling or whatever the case may be. I'm not even going to call this woman out, but you know who you are. And I wrote in your chat room when you went live one night, and subsequently I kept coming at you, and you just shut down the live. You didn't even continue. You said, you know what? Because other people in that live started coming at you. They started asking the same question. Why are you talking about a dead man and collecting cash apps off his name? And I started noticing a lot of other people were doing this or whatever, where they had no dignity, they had no real gumption other than to like either pile on somebody, talk about somebody, talk the worst about somebody, but at the same time avoid serious issues when they arise. See, this is not a live about me and cash apps and all that stuff. Whatever the case may be. If you're new to this channel, um, a lot of no, I don't want to say it that way. I'll say that. I'll say that. There's a lot of certain people of a certain hue that don't like me for whatever reason or whatever to be. And in the end, I know my reward won't come from them, but I will still be one with you. Okay. How about that? I'll still be one with you. I'll still help with the struggle, you know? But what you'll find is everybody's become like a succubus. And I'm going to tell you what I mean right after I come back from sharing this. See, many of these people that you are listening to on a daily basis, many of these people know what you're attracted to. And what you're attracted to is drama. What you're attracted to is stars. What the stars are doing, what they doing, where they going. You know, that seems to be the daily contrive of things when it comes to what people are uploading. And you, as a viewer, are responsible. See, all these bad bloggers that we talk about, all these bloggers that are capped and everything like that, you're responsible. And I'm going to tell you how you're responsible. So you're responsible, first of all, because you financially back them. So that means they are inspired to lie to you even more. They're inspired to cap to you even more. They're inspired to throw in added unnecessary little points within their diatribe. And they do this with the fact that they know you're going to donate to them. Not only do they know you're going to donate to them, they have meticulously, and I've learned now with the crowds here, they seem to be the real problem. They seem to be the problem that most of these YouTubers emphatically are riding upon. See, what they do is he'll say, find a story, right? And there was a story that yesterday that I refused to do a report on because it was obvious it was going on there. But it was a lady down in Atlanta, Georgia, and this lady, she ended up being I don't know. She was supposed to sign some ticket. I'm sure some of y'all saw the video. I'll try to actually link it down at the bottom. And the last video I did, y'all can actually go link that. And now the Marshawn Link video is there, so y'all go check that out as well. But I will add it in there, and you'll see, and you'll come up with your own opinion, I'm sure. But you'll see there's some discrepancies there. Let's just say that, right? And I'm cool with that. I don't have no problem with that whatsoever, ever. I have no problem what side of the spectrum you sit on. But what I'm talking about is the story itself. And see, what these dudes will do is they'll take the story, right? And they'll try to make an advocacy of it. The women, they'll do the same thing. They'll try to make an advocacy of it. And what I mean by the advocacy is they'll come in and they'll try to play the role of, oh, this is a travesty. This is a travesty. And they're behind it. They got the cash app. They got all that stuff right there, right? And you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that every now and then. At a minimum, usually on my stuff, I only say it maybe 2, 3 times, maybe tops 4 or 5, depends on how long it is. But I never sit there and feed to you, hey, this is an advocacy of the day. This is what we're rolling with. And whether it's deaths, whether it's people's untimely demise by financially, whatever the case may be, these people are sitting up there and they're making money off of you. And I'm not hating, I'm not. But I just can't understand why this is your preference as people of color. I just can't understand it. And like the Star Report says, Premium Black News is about fussing, bickering, fighting, who's fussing with who's punching who's robbing who's basically ultimately screwing over whoever. Cha-ching. Give him a cash app, give him a super chat. And we do this on a weekly basis. But there are tons of vloggers, and I'm telling you, there are tons of vloggers out here that have actually accurate information, not predated information that was relevant 10, 20, 30 years ago. There are vloggers out here that are literally worth more than some of these guys that have millions of followers and are not getting paid attention to, not only by YouTube shuffling them along in the system, but they're getting paid attention to by people in many cases that are architects of destruction themselves. See, if you get one person in the middle of the courtyard in the ghetto, right, and you have them scream out, yo, everything here is about us, and blah, 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 blah. Well, based off that, you'll have a whole bunch of criminals come right behind them. And I'm not saying everybody in the projects is criminal, because we all know that ain't true. But what I'm saying to you is, if you get one criminal and all his supporters are criminals or believe in a criminal element, what happens is that person gets a whole bunch of support. You understand what I'm saying? And usually these criminals are faux criminals. They ain't real criminals. They're not real guys that was out there, whatever, whatever. Now, these are guys that hung out with the real guys. Guys like me and the guys I used to run with. They hung out. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have anything detailed to them. They never did any time. So they're telling you these stories and they're using this type of trailing, right, as an advantage point to you. And they lie to most of you. I have caught so many of you vloggers in lies, cap it, overlay it, covering your tracks or whatever, whatever. And I'm answering myself, I'm like, in some of the cases, it's so plain and blatant that these guys are lying to the crowd that the crowd, even though they suspected themselves, they'll still go in their pocket and give money to them. And so I just started breaking it down even more. And I said to myself, well, maybe it's not me. I'm uploading at least 3 to 4 videos a day or whatever, whatever. I know my demographic. You understand? I understand this vehicle. I've had people come and flag. I had somebody flag a video that was literally 6 months old. 6 months old because they wanted to shut me down. So what happens is, and what I'm starting to learn is, each time that I go into some of these chat rooms, what's happening is some of the followers or some of the supporters or whatever from over there, when I ask questions, like I said, I went on Kwame Brown's page and I asked him, I might upload that, I may not. You know what I mean? Because I don't hate Kwame Brown, and I think he's already got enough people he's beefing with, whatever. But I still have to pose the question, my man. You're a multi-millionaire. Why the fuck do you have a cash app? Am I ruled for asking that? Entonces, la gente no creo que sí, ¿no? Porque en la mente ahí dice, entonces, este cabrón tiene mucho chavo. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Nobody will answer that. Este cabrón no tiene carro, la casa, tú sabes, mucho chavo. Nobody answered the question. So when I started breaking all this shit down, I started seeing a pattern where it's vlogger after vlogger after vlogger after vlogger. And the only thing they do is the same thing. They facilitate destruction. They facilitate arguing. They argue amongst each other as vloggers. And some of these men, some of these women as well, they advocate to you that they're about solutions for the people, right? They're about solutions. I'm literally on my channel handing you motherfuckers the car keys, and your intelligence. I'm not saying you're dumb, but I'm saying your focus mentally, it moves past you 100 miles per hour. When you see this next upload I put up, if you don't get it by then, you won't get it, you know? But these guys, they sit up there and they feed you that they care about you. They feed you that, yo, I am the Messiah, the General. And all of a sudden, cash app, cash app, cash app, cash app. I watched a motherfucker the other day sit there strategically, go live for 1 hour, and within that hour, he collected over $700. And right when he saw that he had collected 700, because you could tell by, because it was mostly coming in as we call super chats, which I refuse to do. They take 30% of that. You donate $100 to me, I only see 70. Not doing that. Cash App, $STRINGERBELL 80. It's easy. If not, PayPal, GoFundMe in the description box. I'm thinking to myself, and I'm seeing these guys like literally lie to their crowd. And once this guy saw that he had made $700, he shut down the live. He said, "All right, y'all, we're gonna go live later on." Now, some people will say that's a businessman. I call that a charlatan. I call that, if you call yourself a businessman by that, you live on a low par. You understand what I'm saying? I work for businessmen. I've noticed sometimes when I've been in some people's rooms or whatever, whatever, because they've seen me there a couple of times, they'll automatically shut down. I've caught this 5 times. If you say I'm lying, you lying. They'll shut down their live and start a new one, hoping that I will find a live or they make it private. I had somebody do that for members only. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You don't even go out and search any stories. You don't add any context to the story or anything like that. So as time went on, and you guys will see in my older videos, as time started progressing on, I said, well, you know what? I got to do what works for me. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to like offer you a litany of different stories day to day to day to day to day to day to day. And I don't want to necessarily always have them in short form. I don't want to necessarily want to not have all the intricates that would be, you know what I mean? Like paramount in the situation, in the conversation. And these guys, like a lot of times they'll get on, they'll talk loosely, and sometimes they'll just literally recreate or I cannot say, restructure or paraphrase what the story is actually about. And we all kind of do that a little bit, but to the point where it's like they change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you seen a like change the narrative? That is like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. When somebody totally takes the story, deconstructs it, and rebuilds it up as their own, so they can see like they're in this like distraught victimhood. I've seen women vloggers do this the most. I've seen men vloggers now start to do it or whatever, whatever, including y'all in the manosphere, because there's a lot of moist shit going on over there for real. Some of y'all sound like y'all just hate women. Hey, manosphere. I'm not saying all of you, but a lot of y'all guys in the manosphere, y'all seem like you hate women. I don't hate women. I love women. All right, let me get that straight. I wish I had some Latina vajay right in front of me, or some black vajay, or some white, whatever. Outside of that, you've got so many people that are online now that feed you that they the Messiah, they the truth, or whatever. These people are unaccomplished. Some of these people that you're listening to have not even graduated high school, let alone a college. Yes, you heard me very correctly. I don't know how many times now the Fresh and Fit on their podcast, like them or don't like them, that's not my business. But I can't tell you and express to you how many times these guys have been on their lives, right? And they'll have a girl on there that asks you, "Will you do highest point of education or whatever?" And a lot of those girls will be like, "I ain't go front. I ain't even got my GED. I'm not go front. I never even graduated high school." And these people will have their own vlogs separately from there. In fact, they'll come on Fresh and Fit so they can promote their brand. Yes, you heard me correctly. You guys are listening to high school dropouts, people that are not that educated, people that are in their late teens, early 20s that have never had any experience in life, really, if not barely, not to erase anybody's history or anything like that. And these people are able to make thousands of dollars. And I'm just like, so basically what you're telling me as a people is you want lies, you want drama, you want confusion, and you want none of the remedies of the things that you're complaining about. And that I got a problem with. I can't rock with that. As a grown adult man, I can't rock with that. As a man that children, I went to a movie tonight in the park, right? I went to watch a movie in the park. They had a thing set up and everything like that out here in my local area here. So I went out there and I watched maybe like 45 minutes of the movie or whatever. I was on my way home. So I said, let me watch like 45 minutes of the movie. So I watched like 45 minutes of the movie or whatever. And everybody that was out there was black and Latino. Wasn't that one problem. And I love that. So I said to myself, okay, this shows me that people don't just feed off of being like disgusting people. You understand what I'm saying? I would be a fool. I would be an idiot. I would not be respected. And I'd rather you not donate a fucking dime to me than me get on here on a day-to-day basis and advocate to you that confusion, beefing, producing videos constantly for the sake of getting cash apps and stuff like that, just to what? Make the world worse? Make your neighborhood worse? Because you see, everybody that follows every 10,000, almost 10.5K people that follow me, out of that is going to be about a third of the margin that's going to take any tape that I put up, and they're going to take it seriously. You understand what I'm saying? There's people on here on YouTube. Y'all don't know how deep it goes. It's a dark side to YouTube. I always wanted to bring this up, but I'm gonna break it up for you. There's a dark side of YouTube. I don't know how it's allowed to exist, but it exists, right? And you'll have people on, the gang members having videos. I saw a video of some kids in Chicago, the aftermath of a shooting. I've seen a video of FBD Juck from Chicago laying on the ground, and literally dying here on YouTube. And I saw that the kid that posted it up, he had not been flagged. He had what, I think it was 11,000 views on the video. And I said, nobody flagged this? Nobody flagged this. It's because you're starting to take violence as a normalcy. That's why. You are becoming numb to it. And you're becoming so numb that it's actually affecting your judgment. And this is why you see so much violence happening around the country right now, right after the pandemic. This yesterday in the Bronx and the day before, they had two separate robberies. The men's came in. I know where this is at because it's not far from where I be at. Matter of fact, I've done a live right there on that block for y'all. It's right on this page. I'll put it this way. That's for the people that live here in the tri-state know what I'm talking about. I love New York City. New York City will always be in my heart. The tri-state will always be in my heart. This is my home. The fact was, these guys ran into a jewelry store, and I'm gonna tell you how they did it. One guy comes, he buzzes the thing, the guy lets him in, he holds the door, three other guys run in, they got bear spray, and they spray everybody in there, whatever. They ran off, you know how much they got off with? $2 million worth of jewels. There was subsequently somebody else that did it the day before at another location. All these smash and grabs that you're seeing, that's old school stuff. They was doing that in Florida 10, 15 years ago. Anybody live in Miami, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Gambles, you know what I'm talking about. They was doing that smash and grab, or everybody run through at one time and grab something. It's a new radiation of it. I've seen it happen at Aventura Mall and a couple other places. All right, so it's nothing new. This everybody's doing it across the country. LA's doing it. Everybody else is doing it. But y'all get that from Florida and Chicago. They the originators of that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. If y'all can't donate, just hit the like button. I appreciate that. We can get some people in here that will donate. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. It's just I don't have time to BS with you. You know, I see so many people that have negative material on their page, and day after day after day after day after day, they're able to operate. In that one moment that you motherfuckers sit back and ask yourself one time, this one time, why do they let the bad stuff, the confusion, the arguing? There's literal YouTubers that are at each other's throat that tell people on camera, hey, when I see you, it's on site. And YouTube lets that flow. But you want to mock me for a video about the Travis Scott concert. This is not fit for YouTube material based on someone flagging it. All right, that's cool. I'll set it down for a minute. It's all right. Set it down for 7 days. You interrupted my money. Good job to you. Thing was, when I contacted the YouTube team and we could just see the name, you could tell that was somebody African American or Latino. And it hurt my heart because I said, oh, you don't like the fact that I'm not on here with destruction, pain, telling people to hurt each other, applauding criminals and shit like that, or whatever, whatever. But you want solutions. You want the culture to be better, right? Yeah, that's what they tell you. But in their heart of hearts, la chavo siempre, tú sabes, la gente, money. That's what they want. They want money. And they don't want money to better themselves. They don't want money because they're in dire straits, so they try to rebuild their life like people like me. Da, 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 da. They want your money so they can go buy new sneakers. They can look fresh for the chicks, look fresh for the camera. I don't know how many $1,000 suits that Kevin Samuels had before he passed. What do you think he paid for all that? No, You paid for all that. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm not trying to chisel a hole in him. And a lot of people are not going to want to hear this. And by the time you are ready to hear this mentally, it'll probably be too late. I fear the fact that what's going to happen 5, 10 years from now, at the pace and the linear fashion right now that a lot of African Americans and Latinos are going right now. And in retrospect, most of you hate each other. And you only support those that are dishing out confusion. And one more time, I'll quote Troy Teray, the Star Report: premium black news. Premium. That consists of talking, gossiping, or whatever. I talked about this the other day when I was talking about Angela Yee. Go back to posters right there. And I said, the problem with Angela Yee at the time is she falls under that rumor gossip mill thing. And moving forward, you're not going to be able to do that because sooner or later, somebody on here is going to get hurt to the capacity of beefing with each other, yelling back at each other. That's going to be highlighted in the news. Oh, it happened. Oh, believe that happened. They can't wait for it to happen, really. A lot of people up in Congress can't wait for it to happen. They want to shut this down, including our own senator here, Blumenthal. He was responsible for actually bringing a lot of these companies like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, bringing them all in front of Congress down there in D.C. The Mark Zuckerberg meetings that you saw, well, our senator here in this state, Senator Blumenthal, was responsible for that. Yes, he was. So there's a lot of conglomerates, a lot of people out there that want to see that happen out of YouTube. So to give them a reason to dose in and put their rules and implement their rules on them. And they're going to use your black or brown face to do it. They won't use a white man. They use what white man? Alex Jones. Alex Jones, if you don't know, he used to be here on YouTube. He used to hawk snake oils. That's what I call them, snake oils. Take this elixir, it'll fix your health. You know, those type of guys. He used to hawk his little snake oils at the end of his programs or whatever, and he was doing the same thing. He would lie to the people, make up things for the people. As an example, he found himself in court because he said the Sandy Hook massacre that happened right here in Connecticut, yeah, he said that the Sandy Hook massacre was a farce, that those were crisis actors. And so the family of Sandy Hook, and a lot of the families, they grew up together and they sued them. You can go check it out right now. It's been the topic of discussion probably for the past week. But none of these vloggers are talking about it. Most of these black and brown vloggers, if you're not paying attention, unlike myself and a couple of others, we're not scared to take the challenge of talking about whites as well and the devious things they do and the devious things they have behind them right here on YouTube. But what I find is you guys, instead of doing that, you take facility in talking about your own. That's all you talk about. You talk about brown and black people, and if it's the women, they refer to the men as niggas, and if it's the men, they refer to the women as bitches all the time. Every last chick ain't a bitch. Every last dude ain't a nigga. I hate when a chick even if it goes on the shows, if you go to different shows or you check them out or whatever, when a woman is referring to a man of color, she'll be like, yo, niggas. And I'd be like, yo, don't you realize you're around white folks and all kinds of different folks? Why you refer to your men as niggas? And even when they're on Fresh and Fit, I'll notice how the temperament in the room will change. Like I said, think what you want to about those guys. I don't agree with everything they say either, but I think overall they have a good point about a lot of things. But the point I'm getting at is there will be a woman of color in the room, and if she's black or Latina, she'll be referring to the men as niggas, not realizing there's 10,000 people watching this right now. So if you're saying that on camera in front of 10,000 people, what you think they're going to say to me when they see me in public? But you screaming at the same time, why you call Shanti a bitch? Why you call Shanti a bitch? Well, I took some thought to that. And then I pulled up a couple videos because, see, I follow Ashanti on another one of my platforms. I followed Ashanti for a long time. Never met Ashanti, but I know some people that worked with Ashanti, which inspired me to follow Ashanti. And when I went on Ashanti's page, there are numerous times that she's referring to men of color as niggas. Go check for yourself. I'm not lying to you. Look at Upper Snubby, you will see she refers to men as niggas. You see what I mean? Destruction is what gets you paid on YouTube, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If I gotta shut this old shit down because I'm not making any money, that's fine. That's fine with me. I can walk away and I can be comfortable. I didn't tell you guys the real deal of a lot of shit that I've seen in the music industry, including one man I heard just as recent kind of subliminally say something to me or whatever, whatever. If anybody should be talking, you know it shouldn't be you, because you know I can make one fucking phone call and shut down every fucking thing that's happening with you, and you know it'd be some people glad to do it. So watch your fucking walk, sir. You know that for a fact. Two of the people that I mentioned vehemently don't like you, and you know that. They tried to shut you down before, and you wasn't shut down because the powers of be allowed it out of a favor. You think I don't know your story? I know your story, sir. I know your story more intimately than you do, or what you project to the people. And I don't have to say any names. You know who you are, sir. There's a lot of slick willies, a lot of people that have come from the entertainment industry, unlike like myself, but with different nefarious means. You have a lot of people that are on YouTube now that are literal superstars. I mean, like they have a career, they're in the industry consistently still or whatever, and more of them came here when the pandemic happened. I want y'all to focus in to listen to what I'm telling you. Is when that pandemic happened, it forced a lot of people that weren't touring anymore. They couldn't do signings. They couldn't do walkthroughs. Clubs were shut down or whatever, whatever. So what they did was they funneled themselves to YouTube. They funneled themselves to Facebook. They funneled themselves to Instagram. So now you have these stars that most of them, for the most part, wasn't in the whole ecosphere of YouTube, but you at least not utilizing YouTube as previously as they were at that point now. And now that it continued to be on YouTube because they see a mechanism. So now it's being flooded with these guys. And then the other one I hate, this is another demographic I hate. I can't stand a has been ass fucking journalist that wants to come to YouTube. Wendy, this ain't no shot at you, but I can't stand a has been journalist. I'm talking about journalists that you saw that were at Entertainment Tonight 10 years ago, journalists that you saw that were in Inside Edition years ago, journalists you saw that not necessarily failed at journalism, but it just didn't have the personality to fit it. They didn't have the looks or whatever. That's why that Sherry Shepherd show was gonna fail. Trust me on that. And a whole bunch of litany other things. You can say what you want to about Wendy Williams. One thing Wendy Williams had was charisma. And another thing I'll say, even if you didn't want to jump into bed and sleep with her, at least anatomically, well, I don't want to say anatomically, at least aesthetically, she was able to douse your eyes at. Sherry Shepherd got that old auntie drunk at the tavern look, as she always has. She was a big woman at one time, and I applaud you for losing all that weight. But it's not just her. I've seen like 8 or 9 other ex-journalists that used to be in the real field of journalism now make their mark to YouTube. And I'm like, why are you here? I'm not talking about the Claudia Jordans. I'm not talking about the Wendy Williams. No, I'm talking about a certain big individual woman that sits at a desk every day, and the only thing you do is lie. You lie and add sauce. And I watched this woman take $100 cash apps, $200 cash. She is literally like making her living off of this very well. And her audience has called her Alpha Lion. There are comments in her comment section right now, if y'all know what I'm talking about, with former subscribers saying, yo, that's all this chick do is lie. And then later on, they find out the story is something else than what the woman has delivered to them, but they're still taking it verbatim. Oh, there's a possibility. Maybe she ain't right. They will make up excuses for this behavior. So, let's say your favorite YouTube vlogger is Cap. What I say, you're representing people and you're giving your money to people to do a show once a week. And give him thousands. He's here. You're giving your money to people that, for the most part, when you write something in the comment section, unless you donate to them, they won't even speak to you. But they'll tell you, yo, we about the people. They ain't about the fucking people. They're about, entonces sabe la gente, la chavo, la siempre la chavo. And like, creo que sí, yo siempre quiero la chavo, entonces. And they always will be. Because that's the type of people they are. These are people that saw opportunity, and as opportunists, they jumped online. These are not people that are seasoned. These are not people that necessarily give a damn about any of the subjects that are going on or whatever. And I think the ones you most fear the most that are architects of this shit and masters of it are people in that Hotep community. Oh boy, you thought I forgot about y'all, huh? No, I didn't forget about you, Father. No, 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 no. Let me tell you about those people over there, that thing, and why so many of y'all flock to those people. Because a lot of those people remind you, like I said before, of how I grew up and a lot of influence that was around me. And so now you have these guys that take your pain, the pain peddlers, really. They take your pain, they take everything that you go through on a daily basis or whatever, and they offer by their soothing words as being the solution to your problem. Oh, see, well, it's the white man, da 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 da. It is the white man, this is the white man, that is the white man. Did the white man put a gun in your hand and tell you to shoot up that little 3-year-old kid on the block? Did a white man tell you to run into that store right there and rob it like it was crazy or whatever? And trust me, I understand poverty. I understand the current financial ecosphere right now, if you want to say. I understand. I understand. But never will you hear me on here talking about, yeah, I'm going full throttle to go rob somebody, or I'm running up in the store, or I'm doing whatever. You've never heard me talk like that, and I won't talk like that. I'd rather get on here every freaking day and just put up material over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it exceeds to a point where you can't deny it no more. And I'm already doing that. These people in this Hotep community, I'm not going to name any names because I know when I name names, I get myself into trouble here. These people in this Hotep community, as a matter of fact, I want to say that person that flagged that video, I could tell by your name, Emotep. You really didn't think I knew who you were, huh? I didn't even block him. I said, let's see if he does some more. I wanted to see if he does some more. Where's your name? Emotep something or another, whatever, whatever. I see you. We found you. People like this, they'll run. They talk about the white man, but they'll run to the white man when they got a problem. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Let me share this. These type of guys, they'll sit around all day long and talk about the white man, this is your problem, and the white structure, and da da da. And a lot of it's true. A lot of it's true. A lot of it's been true for decades. Let's not pretend, right? We know there's some prerequisites set up for brown and black people in general alike. If you don't believe me, when's the last time you've been Middle Eastern and gone to the airport? Did you have a pleasant time? Do you feel like you were treated correctly? You know what I mean? These people, they'll feed you this pain narrative. And they'll say, oh, this is where your pain is from. This is where your pain, but they'll never point out where you, as a culture, have to identify and deal with that. And matter of fact, what they'll do is, especially some of these people that have debates, some of these people that sit around and talk about we have picnics. Some of these people that sit around and talk about, hey, what happened was the Emotep or the Hibotet, and you know the da 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 da. Give this some little clever names. This is brother so and so, or this is professor so and so, or whatever. They'll feed you this bullshit and take thousands of dollars to you. The only reason you donate money is because inside you internally you feel terrible, and I don't want to wish that on anybody. But this motherfucker. Or anybody like him is not going to be a solution. Like, what are you freaking mad? I don't understand the degradation and how so many people mentally have deduced in the past 10 years that is beyond me. And these people are these Hotep communities. They're like predators to me. I don't know any other way to put it. If that's, they prey on people. Some of these guys charge $40, $50 to have these little debates online or to listen to these little debates, and they're about nothing. There's no solution coming out of that. Okay, so you got some information that secularly, and I'm talking about in a secular fashion, meaning the world won't recognize. There's a few things like the Moors, I get that. Yeah, they were in England. Yeah, they were in Spain. Yeah, that's a fact. Then you'll get some that'll feed you this narrative. Hey, this is how this is going. This is how this is going. And this is how the white man is thinking. But in fact, they've always lived around in urban neighborhoods. How did you know how white people are? You've always lived in an urban neighborhood. How do you know how white people are? Does that make sense? That's like me saying, yo, I'm a fish and I know how bears act, but my whole life I've lived in the fucking ocean. I'm just saying, you guys have got to start giving some rationality. It doesn't have to necessarily be me. Think what you want to think about me. I'm not worried about it. My channel's going to build. And at one point or another, I keep saying this to you, you're going to see there's going to be a preponderance. And I even predict, I'm going to predict and walk it into fruition. You're going to see a preponderance, and it's already happening, of more and more different types of a demographic coming in. I want to avoid those people like that. I don't want them on my page. I don't want to interact with you. If you're into that whole negative, you got to produce negative material to pop and get Cash App's vibe, I don't want to be bothered with you. I really, really don't. I don't have anything of interest to talk to you. I don't want to gossip with you. You're not going to pick my head and try to get things that happen in the industry for free. You understand what I'm saying? And trust me, I was at some pivotal moments. I was around when the jail shooting happened. I was going back and forth. We went to court down there. I want to say back and forth, but we went down there to Jacob Jefferson approximately 3 times. I was interviewed by the news, by Sway, Sway at the time. He was working at MTV, NBC interviewed us, and also ABC. Me and my boy Scroogeman Bucks. What's up, Lando? If you see this, you know what I'm saying? The team know what I'm talking about. I tell no cap. It's the truth. It ain't my first time on the news. I've been on the news several times. You know what I mean? And good light and bad light. But long story short, these people in these communities, each one of the three that I laid out here, the one being the Hotep community, the other one being the jitterbug tap dancing community that sits around and talks about the local beefs, who got shot, who got killed, or whatever, but never have an inch of anything about positivity on their page. Some of you, some of you pathetic motherfuckers don't even realize kids are watching y'all. And some of you have kids of your own. You literally have kids of your own. And you're not worried about what you're putting out as material. You're not worried about what you're saying. Angel V. Angel V, what's going on? LOLD. It's funny. I have no idea what Captain is, honestly. It's doing the most or reaching. It's a both. There are a few. There are a few only ones that keep it 100 and bring facts such as yourself. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I wish more people would see that. Maybe I have more donations, whatever. Uh, Instead, I've had people, Angel B been here with me for a long time. Instead, I've had people just basically consistently try to shut me down from like the beginning. Got a lot of you not. I have a lot more videos than a lot of other people. I have a lot more views. Yeah, you'll see that person have 90,000 views or 100,000 views or whatever, but they're only doing one video a week. You understand what I'm saying? Last night, for example, my videos did collectively 147,000 views. You you get what I'm saying here? So it's consistency that you're not paying attention to. What you're paying attention to is numbers. A lot of people, the way YouTube works for some people, people prioritize the older videos because I have videos on my page that have 500,000 views. I have another video on my page that has 1.2 million views. I have another video on my page with just me in it, has 100,000 views. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I try to be. I try to talk about things that people I think should see relevant. And then a lot of the stuff I put on my page, I'm literally giving y'all breadcrumbs to bigger things. And if you use your mind or you are as smart as you think you are, you would piece it together. The only people that say it to get it are other people in the industry or been around people in the industry, or I hate to say it, smart women. I have some unusually smart women that I've conversed with here on YouTube that have had some great conversations with. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about women of color, black women, or whatever. But what I don't stand for is that sisterhood bullshit. That you ain't gonna move me with. See, that sisterhood shit is like the same thing that goes on here in YouTube, where you have a lot of these vloggers directing negative connotations. And a lot of times what I see with that sisterhood shit versus the sisters, make the difference. Diferente, tú sabes. La gente lo sucia, pero la mujer le presentado. Tú sabes, la princesa. It's a different flow. See, I could represent a woman that's a queen, La Reina, but I can't represent no poor trash. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I'll never do that. I never do. I was a dude, believe it or not. I would be like this. If I saw somebody getting into it with their girl or whatever, and everybody, don't break it up, that's a woman. Da, 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 da. I'd be like, what she do? For all I know, you stole $500 from them boys. You know what I'm saying? For all I know, you ran out of there with their stuff. For all I know, you did something to his mother, or did something. For all I know, what did she do? And I never thought we would be in a society where we have to do that with our own. I gotta be like, yo, what did she do? And I learned this because you can get involved in something like that, right? And the next thing you know, or they might both jump you. That's Stephen Joe. He knows what I'm talking about. Stephen Joe got a video up. Y'all know him. He's in Miami. Check him out. Tell him I sent you over there. Stephen Joe, he runs a channel. He does comedy. And one time this girl was outside the club. I think it was Dream too, because I noticed the club. I know Ocean Drive, Collins, Washington, all that. What's good? What's going on now? So I saw OG Patrice. She been here with me since the beginning too. I love that my people that been here with me from the beginning show up. I mean, I care about the new people too, but it's a more of a, how can I say, a connection with certain other people. You know what I mean? They see me in my best. They see me in my worst. I appreciate y'all. Seriously. Salud. Entonces sabe la mujer, la habla negrita. It ain't the problem of, how can I say it? It's not the problem of people making money on YouTube. We all here to make money, right? I think we are one of the obvious people out here that's doing that. Ain't the point of us making money on YouTube. It's how you're making your money. You understand? And I don't mean to jump off that. I know I went from that, but I don't want to run into that road and just specifically put the blame on women because there's a lot of dudes on here that are doing a lot worse, if not equally as worse. A lot of dudes get on here and they pander to women that they know are doing terrible things. You understand what I'm saying? They'll take up for women saying terrible things. They'll back women that did terrible things and try to offer them excuses. They'll do the same thing with a man too. I say it before. You'll get celebrated as a criminal coming home from jail than you will be at a Yale graduate or Columbia University graduate. And this community, and I don't care what nobody says. Show me something different. Have JoJo come home from prison or whatever the case may be. But let me finish up about Stephen Joe in his video. So he's walking down the block or whatever. This girl is yelling at her boyfriend, screaming at her boyfriend, whatever the case may be, right? And dude comes in, comedy brand. He says, yo, can I help you? Da 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 da, whatever, whatever, whatever. Yo, get the fuck away from me, nigga. Da 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 da. She turns up on him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I was just trying to help. He was like, all right, shorty. Takes off. I've had that happen. I've had that happen. I've had literally a girl getting beat on in front of me in Grand Central, and she's yelling for the police, and nobody is trying to get involved in it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about this is late night. This is after the train station. Grand Central actually closes at a certain time, and they put these gates around. You have to stand outside those gates or stand outside, right? But you can stand in that area. And chick was getting walloped on. And I said, yo, shorty, you all right? Da, 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 da. After she had gotten hit or whatever, dude came over and tried to swing at her again while I was there. And he clipped me. I said, and just stuffed in it. You know what I mean? This happened not even last year. Think about it. And chick got mad at me because I hit him. So the police come, everything like that, whatever. I ain't worried about it. I explained to her, call me what you want to, or whatever. I was thinking up for Dodo right here, and she just didn't get it. You know what I mean? It can be a dangerous game to play, get involved in stuff like that. So be careful, fellas. Be careful. Be very, very careful. I don't know where this whole thing is going with this free platform because that's what it is. And a lot of people on here talking about, oh yeah, I got my own network, I got my own platform, da da da. The only difference between you and your quote unquote business is YouTube not deciding they're gonna shut your page down. Once that happens, business is over. Business is over. You can believe what you want to believe. You don't even have ownership of the content that you upload here. That includes me too. Only thing I have ownership of, or quite ownership of, is videos that pertain and include myself solely. That's it. That's it. If you don't believe me, I suggest you go to your YouTube information and do a little digging. You'll find this out. You don't own anything except for the videos that have you included in them. That's it. That's the only thing you can claim in the courtroom or anything else. You understand what I'm saying? You can't claim proprietorship of anything other than that or videos that you have produced here in the courtroom via YouTube. So I hope you know that. Send your videos that are with you like I do to your cloud storage. I think my cloud storage is like 2 terabytes or something now. It's high, because it's not just YouTube stuff, it's other stuff too. But you don't have any ownership of any of the shit you have on here. So if YouTube came in tomorrow, let's just say they say, "Yeah, we shutting everything down." Like they shut me down for 7 days because somebody wanted to flag my video from 6 months ago. This is a goof. It will shut me down. If that happens, right? You either got two choices. You can move to another platform and start from scratch, or you can play ball. That's why I never partnered with YouTube. That's why I don't utilize Super Chat. Y'all fools for using that shit. And I want y'all to remember too, since everybody will put cap on me, put 72 messages on my page. Oh, donate to him. Da, 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 da. Let me put y'all on to something, right? Every time y'all donate to one of these motherfuckers in the Super Chat, especially if you give like over $100, they are 30% of that minus is what Google is taking. So if you donate $100 to them, you actually just gave $30 to Google for the people. That's why I said I don't think a lot of y'all, not necessarily intelligence, but I don't think y'all know how this really works. This works totally different than what you think it works. And if you do a little investigation, because I hear a lot of these people out there that be trying to give tips or whatever, you're just giving them tips how to get shock value videos. I don't do shock value videos. That's easy. But you're just showing people how to get shock value videos, how to ascertain a certain type of demographic who is some of the most sloppiest demographic there is. This is the people that'll come in and they'll say all kinds of nasty stuff to you, harass you for weeks upon weeks or whatever. Andrew Tate, they're trying to take him down right now. There are some very nefarious, nasty, insidious people that utilize YouTube because it's a free account. This is not a platform. This is a social media site. And the quicker you understand this is a social media site, not your own store, not your own network, it's a free fucking account. And somewhere along the way, you people have got so delusional that you've lost it. And you say, I'll give my soul all. Let me ask you this. If you walk past a corner store right now, right, and you saw a bum sitting outside and he was epically hungry, thirsty, or whatever, would you stop and give him $2? Would you? Would you buy him something to drink? Would you? If your answer is no, then why the fuck would you come up here and donate to complete strangers that you can't physically be in the same realm at the same time? Definitely, definitely. Let me see. Oh, thank you so much. OG Patrice sent me $20. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. See, she always mess with me like that anyway. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Wish we'd get more people to do that. You know what I mean? But we gonna keep striving. OG Patrice, remember, she West Coast. You know what I mean? And yo, if you talk to Jaguar, tell her I said salute, man. I see she went underground. And I hate to say this, I put a video up and I said, and I don't know if she listened to my video or whatever, but it's still there. And I said, you need to just get the fuck off of social media. She did so. They did the same thing to Jaguar Wright. That's what I'm mentioning. I say to this day, she's responsible really for if you want to say my explosion, a lot of my followers on here. You know what I mean? Definitely. So shout out to Jaguar Wright. I'll never forget you. You know what I mean? She's a strong woman. Jaguar put out her music. People ain't want to buy it or want to stun on her. People made videos about her, made old compilations about her, surviving Jaguar, right? All this stuff, whatever. I'm just like, yo, these are from your old people. These are from your old people. These are not from whites. These are not from neo-Nazis. These are from your old freaking people. And because of that, we got robbed of Jaguar Wright or lied. Sad. Yeah. Yeah, Davin. Jag Underground, 2 years a day. She went viral on YouTube. That's right. That's right. That's right. Crazy. I was gonna say a year and a half, but yeah, it's been that long. It's been that long. And OG Patrice, you remember that's where I got my start at. Was with rocking with her material, then coming with my own material, and then I made my own pathway. But I continued to upload her material because I knew there was a lot of things there that were possibilities. I'm leaving it at that. I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna get me in trouble. But it's a possibility. You play a spades. What you got? I got one of the possible. See, Angel B said the same thing. Thank you. She said, "Yep, you did. Yes, I did." And I kept my promise. I told people when I was like, a lot of people don't know because y'all new to my channel, or whatever. But I was in a tight predicament, and I documented all of it. And I have a book that someone is helping me write about that experience, which I hope to have available to you guys in the upcoming months. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be next month, month after next, or whatever, but it will happen. So quote me as saying that here. Um, I'm not even gonna leak out the title because somebody will steal it and I don't have it copyrighted yet. But it's a unique title, and it's about not only my journey of what happened and being totally like innate to that situation. Like I never would have thought that happened. And yeah, and I'm gonna tell you about that too, because it was actually I was on somebody else's podcast or whatever, and this woman mentioned it, and we just started talking. She was like, "Yo, I produce books. I have a publishing company or whatever, and we're hooked to who did she say? It's an actual major publisher too." But she's gotten a couple people. I went to her website. She's gotten a couple people. Actually, I'll put it in the description box what I've done. She's got a couple people deals, through Random House Publishing and a couple other things. So I said, yeah, let's roll with it. So we started talking email at first, and it just blossomed from there. So, but for you guys are not familiar with that or whatever, I went viral for a predicament I was in that more so had to do with who I was previously attached to, which was a record company, a very big record company, which was Bad Boy Entertainment. Fuck it, I could say it. So anyway, I was attached to them for a long, long time, and subsequently, the jobs that we did came to an end. It's just like that. We thought that the sale, I think a lot of people that worked with us thought the sale and be all would be at that company. And via intervention of technology, I won't say this the right way, intervention of technology, plus the job and the land, the scenery as far as hip hop had changed. You know what I mean? So that was more of a paradigm of the consistent years that we worked in. It was shuttling itself out, and being replaced with Twitter and Instagram posts and Facebook posts. I understand it. I'm not bitter, but at the time it was a different direction or whatever, whatever. And I'll leave that for my book because now I got 10,000 followers. I can't be giving y'all everything, but this hit my videos and just keep scrolling. You're gonna have to scroll for a while, almost a year back. I might even share some of them in the community section because I always want to keep that part of me relevant. It's a very huge chunk of me, and it took a chunk out of me too, mentally and a lot of other things or whatever. A lot of people don't know. I don't divulge everything on here, but it took a lot out of me mentally because I'd never been in that situation before. Nor had I ever been a person that was nasty to people or thought I was better than other people. Or I've never been that type of person ever. I used to help so many people. I used to let people stay in my house, and then later on they just at me, or I used to give people money for certain situations. I bought kids that wasn't even my kids Christmas presents 4, 5 times. I wasn't even sleeping with their mama. Their mama was like my man's girl, like literally. And they in that situation locked up or whatever, whatever. Well, he got, 2 kids with her or whatever. And I see them and I see them struggling. It was already struggling because the money has been taken out of the house. Yes, I said that correctly. Sometimes daddy weed buddy be making a difference. Or you know what I mean? It is what it is. And yeah, man, I've done a lot for people. I've got people on the radio. I've got 3 people right now that are huge, like literally huge. And I like to say, hey, I had something to do with what's going on with you. And one of those people acknowledged me and sent me a nice little $100 one time. I appreciate that. Send 100 more, bro. I can use it. I got shut down for a week for a video that was 6 months old. But anyway, I've helped out a lot of people, and a lot of people within the music industry, some, not all, but some people are trying to deduce me, like, oh, well, he wasn't that relevant, da, 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 da. So let me tell you what our job was. We worked in the marketing department. We had something that was called Street Team, right? And so what we did was we were one of the main mechanisms, and I hate that people in the industry try to deduce it. Rockefeller had their own, Def Jam had their own, Rough Riders had their own, and numerous Flip Mode had their own. Ja Rule, Murder Inc. They had their own. We used to beef with the Rockefeller cats all the time, but also friendly shit. But we used to beef with them. Our jobs were to go into the clubs, make sure that all the literature got put out. We would put up poster boards all over the city, which would be taken down usually within 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes there would be cops right behind us taking them down as we put them up. Like, fuck it, we did our job, yeah. You know what I mean? We had fun. I was in every club you could think of across the nation, places that for the average person, they're sitting at the door and be like, yo, listen, I got 10 grand, I got 1,000, I got two, I swear to God to you, Fountain Blue, Compound, Esso, Dream, all of them. I've been to all of them. Shout out to Alex that owns three of those I just mentioned down there in Atlanta, Ethiopian brother. I ran through these places. I've had a good life, you know what I mean? But I never, ever, ever, and you could ask anybody that knows me, I've never been obnoxious, but yeah, I work with bad boy, oh shit. And I was never like that. I was never like that. And I think what God was showing me was, and I think every man is going to come to this point in their life somehow or another. I'm now in my early 40s, you know, I don't front. And so I'm no kid. I'm not 17 years old. I think when a man reaches like 30, 35, 40 years old, he starts to find out who his friends are. He starts to find out who's got his back or whatever. And honestly and truthfully, there was a lot of people that I did shit with. I've carried people from. Listen, I could if you ever run into Fallout Flow, if you ever run into Steve Dickey, if you ever run into Shaquan White, if you ever run into any of these guys that were up at Daddy's House Recording Studio, they would tell you. As a matter of fact, I'll give you the names of two people. She's Real and what's my man's name? Retro C from Brooklyn. She's Real was actually on Sway in the Morning. You go check her out. She's SHESREAL. She's Real. I grabbed them off Times Square and took them to a multi-million-dollar freaking Daddy's House Recording Studio. Dudes don't do shit like that. Trust me. Your local artist, he don't just pick up strangers because he admires what they're doing and say, yo, come with me. You know, they just don't do that. And so there's been so many things that I've done for people in life or whatever, whatever. And here we are later on. And I'm like, damn, this is almost like a remix of what happened before. Because like when I was in the music industry, regardless of what our position was or whatever, I wasn't bigger than Biggie, but I'm bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody trying to shut me down or whatever, whatever, placate off of what I was in the music industry, I wasn't bigger than Biggie, but bitch, I'm bigger than you. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, I guarantee you, even though you think my position was at the lower tier, everybody I was interacting with was the big dogs. That's what you forget. See, we was in the rooms with Leon. We was in the rooms with now the Bloods and RIP, God bless him, K Slay. I remember him coming up to the office. So as the time is going on and we're going to all these different locales across the country or whatever, I'm meeting this person, Gino Green, Pharrell. I met Trinidad James before he even dropped that song. And you could go ask Trinidad James, you know, David Lewis. I even told him at the time when I met him down in Miami doing Memorial Day week, I said, that shit gonna be a hit. As he was walking around, he was just playing the song for people. And then later on, he was in one of the little van things playing it for people. That had to be 2011 or something like that when we was down there that happened. My point is, and I got the pictures and everything else approving people that have ever gone to my community section. Though I always put up pictures and videos and stuff like that of our times at the record industry. I was there for 18 years. But these guys, what I find is they only have one brand of what they find is successful. You understand what I'm saying? So let's put this on a measurement stick, right? Now, make you understand what I'm saying. If you've been working at McDonald's for the past 18 years and you still owe fries and you ain't at register, you ain't even manager, and then you put me on the same incline, and here I am, 2 years after high school, and I'm with a major record company. How do you deduce me in your history in the same note? It doesn't make sense. We have not had the same experiences, sir, and that doesn't mean I'm better than you, but you're not going to deduce who I am and what I represent. And anybody that knows on me on here knows that there's been times that I've got a little erratic on here and I've said some things or whatever, whatever, because I was pissed off. Why wouldn't I be? You ever try sitting in front of your camera for 3 hours and not one person donates $1 to you? You ever did that? Trust me, try it one day, see what the feeling is. I know I'm gonna have somebody eventually is gonna come in here that's a baller, is really getting some money, and they're gonna drop 2 grand, 3 grand at $STRINGERBELL 80. That's Stringer Bell 80 or GoFundMe or the PayPal. I know they gonna do it. I know what's gonna happen. The thing about it is, I'm hating to say it, but because of the brand and the way I introduce myself or whatever, I'm pretty sure they gonna be somebody who go. Y'all motherfuckers hate me. It's all right though. I don't care. I won't say you hate me. You don't hate me, but a lot of you do like what I have to say. And sometimes you got to hear uncomfortable truths to actually have the truth. And I'd rather you be uncomfortable with some of the shit I say than run into a fucking brick wall. How about that? You know what I mean? I'd rather you be uncomfortable with me. And then later on, you know how many times in my life I've had people come back and tell me, yo, you know what? You was right. But at the beginning, when I was saying it, they didn't get what I was saying. I'm like, see, I told you, dumbass. Tons of times. And I wish I had $1 for every time that shit happened. Don't a lot of us? I try to give you preventative measures, precaution measures, things that you will need as tools moving forward. Because, like I said before, I have 2 pluses about me, which is unique. And if you find people like me, which we're very few when it does it. So let me tell you what I'm saying. I lived in a section of Connecticut that was very spoiled. That's spoiled, meaning like I was individually spoiled, but meaning that people were used to living very relaxed. There's condos everywhere, there's beach front everywhere. I lived on the shoreline. So I used to take people, this is no lie, and you can ask those people out there. I used to take people that I knew that lived over in the projects or whatever the case may be, and I'd be like, yo, come over to the crib with me for a day so you can get away from this shit. I used to come over, hang for a day or two. I used to sometimes bring the whole freaking club to my house. One time we had this huge pool party at my old condos I lived in. I had at least me and my friend Roland. Um, God bless his heart. He had the key to the pool. He was a pool partner. I met him when I lived at the condos. And so he opened up the pool door or whatever, which you really didn't have to do. You could have just climbed over it, but he opened up the pool door. We had like 20 people in there. We splashed and everything else. So like 7 o'clock in the morning, playing music, everything. Nobody called the police. It was amazing. When we left out the pool, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I always made sure people had fun. And that's what I meant by when I went into my little debacle. What happened was a lot of people that I thought were my friends weren't my friends. They weren't my friends. They weren't. And it was sad to see it come to conclusion like that because some of those people I really cared about them. They will not know it. Sometimes people will take it to 70, 80, 90 years old and look back and reflect and be like, yo, you know what? He was really my fucking friend. That guy was really my friend. Oh, I see what he was doing. So you're gonna have times like that or whatever. People with this, don't worry about it. Keep pushing. If you're a vlogger and you want to get your story out, just be authentic. G. That's all I say to you. Stop this notion that we all have to throw up certain types of videos to keep us in a rotation because this is the perimeters on the plantation or the Google plantation that we have to do. Yeah, this is the Google plantation. Don't get messed up. Some of us in the house, some of us on the field. I graduated to getting in the house, but a lot of us still in the field. You know what I mean? Especially a lot of y'all feminine ass boys on here. I said, boy, hey. One more time. Hey. A lot of y'all motherfuckers be on here like, anyway, this concluding this, guys. I'm gonna get a ball for here. Give me something to eat in my system. I may take a walk later and go live or something like that. But guys, make sure you don't have to donate to me. I really don't even care anymore. I'm trying to create some other scenarios or whatever, and this continues not working out or whatever. I'll just shut down the whole shit, delete every video except for the ones I want. Fuck that. Like this. Let me give you a perfect example. That girl that just got arrested for killing Christian Abu Sali down in Miami. I hate having to talk about Miami like this. I hate it because I love the place. But the girl that killed him, right? She had 2 million Instagram followers. 2 million. And she had a crap load of people with OnlyFans too, right? Where they at now? Where they at now? The only time you're gonna see them ever again is if you go live again. Talk to you guys later. If you guys like to donate, it's $ STRINGERBELL 80. Please watch this back. Please share it. If you don't have Cash App, make sure you. Sorry about that. If you don't have Cash App, it's GoFundMe and it's also PayPal. You're throwing it to a good cause. Trust me on that. Blessings and guys, start tuning up your fucking material. This stuff about who's going to court, who's you're looking like a bunch of voyeur ass bitches nowadays, men and women alike.